because we're Americans and you're Canadians is going to solve any fucking problem.
No, it's nothing about you Americans. It's just your president's crazy.
We don't like yours either. Do you get it? We don't like yours either.
If you want to have an actual
I think your president's a clown.
No, you're missing the point. No, you're missing the point. No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. No conversation on Clubhouse is going to solve this. No way, you are. No conversation is going to solve this. Whatever I say isn't going to solve this. You've got a crazy fucking...
Jeremy, you're the same dumb motherfucker that was histrionic about the fact that there was an issue with Canada. You were histrionic about it like a fucking 5-year-old schoolgirl. It was disgusting.
You all locked
it was the most like
obsequious, Canada should shut
disgusting, slimy ass representation.
We're gonna just fucking march in and take your shit over. We're gonna march. We're gonna march over the fucking ice wall.
Yeah, you're gonna march over my fucking ass.
Now that was funny.
March over
what are you marching in with?
Their Mounties.
I want to know what you're marching in with.
We'll be coming by horseback. That's right. Cans of maple syrup in our hands.
That'll be.
I'll tell you, Abby. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you what you do. There's never been a country in the history of man that went isolationist and went against international trade that was successful and didn't collapse. That's just a fact. You guys don't have certain things. You just don't. You don't have. You don't have soft.
Jeremy, you are the most impotent.
Okay, no, but thank you for letting me. Thank you. No, I apologize. Thank you for letting me finish. But please, Americans, go ahead. Let me make some space for you. Go ahead. But first, thank you again for letting me speak.
They want to come.
Whine like a schoolgirl.
They want to invade America to steal the Stanley Cup because they never got it.
That's my point. My point is that Jeremy is whiny, histrionic little fuck when it comes to. You are not serious. You whine like the world is fucking collapsing. I heard you get packed up by fucking Goat the other day, which, by the way, Goat packs me up on occasion too. But you got packed the fuck up by Goat because your histrionic complaining about your fucking country is dumb. It doesn't help you. It doesn't make you friends. It just makes people like me, who are prone to be on your side, be irritated that you can't keep your fucking mouth shut without being histrionic. Like, it takes people who are predisposed to be in your corner and takes them the fuck out of the corner. Because
you know what it feels like, Marshall?
Stop being a histrionic asshole about shit.
You know what it feels like? It feels like I'm at the party and, like, my buddy's really fucking drunk and he's like, dude, I'm gonna fucking drive home, man. I got this covered. And I'm like, dude, no, you're too drunk. Please don't get behind the wheel. I just feel like that's what Canada's trying to say and the rest of the world's trying to say to you guys. Like, this man that's steering your country, this man that's steering your country is fucking going right into, he's got about 12 drinks over the line.
Defend yourself.
He kicked me? What a faggot.
You don't need to worry about us. What you should be worried about is yourself. Because without us, you are fucked.
Yeah, no, everybody knows that.
America has never once died.
We're not saying
America has never spent one fucking bullet defending Canada. Never. We have never been threatened to be attacked. We have never been attacked except for Americans, Al. No, you're gonna not you.
It was us that went. It was us that went to war for you.
You're the only country threatening to
attack us. Jeremy.
No, it's true. Al, we went to war for you guys.
Elect Wayne Gretzky as your prime minister, and we might respect.
No, we don't elect celebrities. There's a difference in culture here. We don't elect celebrities. We don't elect TV stars or pro wrestlers. We don't elect fucking goofballs or Fox TV show hosts to be fucking head of the world's largest army. That's insane.
Is that what you're
saying? Are you trying to insinuate that who you just
had? That's like literally the only Canadian you know about, Abby.
Like he's not a politician.
I know about That's the only Canadian worth knowing, right? Is Greg.
He's not a politician. We're not like that, Abby.
Another Canadian that's worth
Yes,
knowing. There's a
because your
couple other hockey
so-called
players.
politicians
Maybe
have done a
there's some
bang-up
hot
job.
ones.
I mean, you can't even
we're not-
name any other
Nobody can
Canadian
deny that the
players.
United States has the
Like,
world's biggest army. Nobody can deny that the United States has an amazing history. Nobody
We have the
economy.
world's
Nobody can deny that. Nobody can deny.
Shut the fuck up.
Nobody can deny all of the accomplishments that you guys have done. Right? What we're saying exactly is that you have a crazy man behind the wheel. That's all we're saying.
And here's what we're saying.
All right?
We say the same about you.
Don't fucking. Yeah, I know. We kicked ours out.
Can
We kicked ours out. Ours is shitty. Ours is shitty.
Just a moment after jumping down his throat, Jeremy. I only jumped down your throat because your points about your country are good points.
You do sound
But
kind of
every time
drunk,
you're
Marshall.
histrionic, just listen. You don't have to accept it as advice, but just listen to it for a second. When you're histrionic about Canadian and U.S. relations in modern day, despite the fact that you feel like you've got the right to be irritated by it, the interfacing and the histrionics.
Dude, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert.
No, hold on. They don't register.
Why are you calling Jeremy histrionic when, literally the people that are the face of your fucking party are the most histrionic
Because
people
I
in
have
this
listened to
room?
Jeremy be absolutely histrionic about shit, and my point is not that he is histrionic, it's that it sucks away from the point he is making, which is a valid one, which is the United States needs to consider.
You're the one getting histrionic about
the
him
United
making
States
the point in the
needs to
first place.
consider its third closest ally, which is Canada. But you can't do that when you have a conversation in which everybody is complaining that Donald Trump is the worst thing since mankind.
He is.
Started.
He is so, Marshall. You have a great country. You have an amazing country, dude. But the entire world, he's negatively affecting everybody. And I know he's saying he's doing it for you guys for the good. And I hope he makes the economy better.
That's not my point.
He's not making the economy better.
Well, we hope that he makes it better.
He's also wrecking any progress we're making.
And the only way the two of you are going to make your arguments make any sense is if they don't become histrionic or hyperbolic.
Dude,
the moment that happens, it takes away the legitimacy.
I wish the replays were on in here because literally the last 10 minutes you've been the most histrionic person in the room.
Okay, could you tell me how I've been histrionic? What did I say that was histrionic?
You sound drunk, and you're going on a rant about Jeremy just making a valid point.
Marshall does
Okay.
not sound drunk.
That's not me being histrionic. That's you not liking what I have to say.
Can I just tell everybody, I'm changing my Grindr profile right now to histrionic.
Changing your Grindr profile?
6969.
Has to be.
Histrionic for you.
So they close telephone. There's people
So the question is, right? The
Would
question
you ask
is,
if they mistakes on their profile? Do you put that on there, Scott?
No, but you know what, Abby? I do put my link. I do put on my Bumble and my Tinder and stuff. I put links to my podcast, and I get women listening. And it's a great strategy because
No whiz. Absolutely no whiz.
They're saying no whiz?
it shows my personality. And they can weed me out if they don't like me, and we have something to talk about when we can. So I found putting a podcast on there is a great strategy.
It's interesting. You're not giving away too much.
so Marshall, I think one of the questions is obviously Trump's doing things in very different manner, right? I think everybody can agree with that. He's doing a lot of things very quickly.
Yeah, dude, he's doing stuff that hadn't been done in the last 40 years of American government.
Right. And a lot of people have hope for that, and I hope it works out that the American economy gets better, because in the end, it's better for everybody else. I really hope so. But the question is, okay, if he does well, I'll eat my words. I'll say I was fucking wrong, But I do wonder if there will be true believers that maintain their allegiance to him for forever. I don't know. I don't know. You like history, You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I don't know what you're
about
talking
charismatic leaders.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Is a couple of tensions.
Makes no sense.
I think what you're hitting at is a couple of tensions in America. right? There's the urban-rural tension, which has been there since the founding of the country. There's the educated versus uneducated contention. And there's a guy named William Hofstadter who wrote in late 1950s a book called American Anti-Intellectualism. And so those are two really big things that pull.
Right.
We're also in a populist moment. So just so you know, before populist moments, American voters, eligible size 220 million, only about 15% of that number, not 15% of Republicans, Democrats, and Libertarians, just 15% of the whole number are considered policy voters. Everybody else votes on emotion, you and me included. And the note for people moving, emotions already drive people in situations where expertise is listened to. But in a populist moment, when there's this amorphous, people don't feel like it's working and they want to just like take it down.
Yeah, that's this dangerous thing, right? A dangerous point in history. So I'm just wondering if we, and I will include Canada because everything that Washington does affects us here. It affects us directly. If we will navigate this whole thing, this sort of, I don't want to get hyperbolic and say we're on a precipice of, infinite drop or anything like that. But I just hope that we navigate this time well,
We are on a precipice of American-Canadian relations for the next at least decade of our lives being different, right?
I'm doubtful of that, though.
No, I don't think you know that it's going to be super different. But I think after, and this is talking to Adam, after noticing the way America has done things with Canada under Donald Trump, this is actually after talking to Jeremy in a private way. It is, if I can reflect it, this may not be you, Poodle, but there was this wed kind of love of America, and certain Canadians feel betrayed by the way that the Trump administration has dealt with things. Also,
well, that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. My sister's married to an American. She lives in Chicago.
Poodle, I went to Toronto for a weekend and my testosterone dropped 30 points. It's really weird.
Right? We're chill, right? I mean, you could relax. It must have felt good.
You're
that's
chill,
real freedom, Scott. That's,
you need to play.
You were feeling freedom,
Scott.
Scott.
That's the thing. This is why
Canadians
Canadian men are superior. They act like gentlemen on the streets, and they take it out on the fucking ice. This is how this works. They're trained to do it from a very young age, and they grow them big there too. Like a good, nice hockey player, good 6'4", 250.
Not all are that tall though, Cora. Like I think our team has more Canadians on it than any other U.S. team, and they're not all. I thought you're right. Like most of them would be really tall.
They tend to be between 6'1" and 6'4". Yeah.
Do they? Would you say hockey players are 6'1"?
Believe me,
I
looked at that fucking stats.
Would you say hockey players are all 6'1" to 6'4"? All right, go ahead. I'm sitting with a hockey player. I just happen to have a hockey player right here. Go ahead.
No, they aren't 6'1" to 6'4".
Are they?
They're like 5'10". They're like 5'10", 5'11" to 6'2".
Okay, heard it from a hockey player. Thank you.
It's but they're bigger dudes than average.
No, because what was our goalie? What was Fleury? Fleury was not. He was like our old goalie. Yeah, Aiden Hill's tall, but Marchessault, one of our best players, a small guy.
Grexy's not big.
How big's Grexy? Sorry.
He wasn't a big player.
The average NHL player is 6'1", 199 pounds. Goalies tend to be 6'3", 200. Defense between 6'2" or 6'2" and above, 202 pounds. I like defensemen. I'm a Tom Wilson kind of girl. So that's who I pay attention to.
So, Marshall, I grew up and lived near Windsor, Detroit. And, all the factories are mixed up. You have some parts made in Windsor, some parts made in Detroit. I don't know how that worked out or why it worked out that way.
Same shit here, Poodle.
Yeah.
We send doors for Ford pickups to Reynosa, which is McAllen's sister city.
Right.
They get put together in Maquiladoras and come back.
I just don't know how things are going to work out. Like, how the fuck? I don't know, man. I just, Trump's like, and then the other thing that I don't like about Trump is, like, even if it's just jokes and stuff like that, saying you're going to take over countries. I mean, most people think it's not cool. I think you guys could agree with that. Just the language.
Oh, yeah. There's a part of me that goes not cool, but there's also, I guess, a political part of me that goes, that's never going to happen. The American public would never stand for it.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, if he actually gave the orders, okay, guys, it's time to invade Canada, everybody would be like, fuck you. They would tell him to fuck himself. They would never do it,
It's already one of the most unpopular policy, like the taking over Greenland. Like, just terribly.
That actually makes sense. I'm sorry, but that actually...
It makes economic sense.
So
we could do it tactfully.
I'm not arguing the strategic relevance of Greenland. I'm arguing the language perspective.
Right.
The public perception of taking over Greenland. How this ends in a recession. And this ends in probably a pretty big midterm for the Democrats. And that's not a good thing, because recession and economic contraction is a lot of pain for a lot of people. But this sort of buffoonery and just terrible governance is going to have a political response.
Yeah. And don't get us wrong. We don't. Fuck. My sister's American. Literally, she's got dual citizenship, and no Canadian I've ever spoken to actually says they hate Americans. Nobody I know, at least not the people I hang out with. And I think most people don't. It's just the way, I agree with you. Probably if Trump and Vance put it in a very tactful manner with good language and propose the idea to the citizens of Greenland, hey, do you want to join up with us? It's your choice, of course. You're a democratic nation. We're friends. What do you think? It might work out. But, just the whole...
They don't have the choice, right? They are controlled. So
No. They can vote. They can vote. They can vote. They have a free vote. So my point is that, that's besides the point. My point is that if they have grand ideas like that, why not do it in a tactful idea? But, that's not Trump. That's not his way. And I guess the rest of the world is kind of saying, like, please stop with the crazy language. And I think there's a lot of Americans who feel the exact same thing.
Supporters feel the same way, though. That's the thing that I think people missed. People do not... Most Trump supporters I know actually don't like the language, don't love everything about him, but are willing to accept it for things like... One of the things that right now... I honestly makes me sick to my stomach, and it should every American, is the IRS. The IRS has been 30 years waiting for a project to modernize its system.
Tell them.
30 years behind schedule.
Preach.
So, the other thing, hold on, Matt. The other thing is $15 billion over budget. $15 billion. Now,
I don't know what you guys are hearing right now, but this lady's speaking the goddamn truth.
Hold on a minute. One of two things is true. Either those people are on the take, and there is a reason they don't want modernization, because obviously it makes it easier to root out corruption and just error, right?
Oh, yeah. Keep preaching.
But who's benefiting from a 30-year delay in something we're paying for? We're actively paying for modernization.
Come on!
It should really sicken every American. I don't know if you are left or right.
I mean, $1
I don't know what I've been drinking tonight, but goddamn,
$4
that's the fucking truth.
So $1 put into the IRS typically turns back, I believe, $4 or $5 of tax revenue. The IRS has been traditionally underfunded for decades now, and that's one of the reasons why.
You're trying to defend the IRS. Get this motherfucker out of here.
That's one of the reasons why tax avoidance among the more wealthy is a pretty common.
Yeah, but okay. So why not modernize? Why not
So
Hold on a minute. Hold on. I have a question for you.
Well, can I
Why
just
would
finish?
we
Can I finish
not?
3 more sentences? Can I finish 3 more sentences?
No,
If
then
possible?
you can go. I'm going to leave because I've got to go to bed. But
That's
one question
that's
is,
good.
why would we not? Because if that is the case, why would we not demand that modernization and that the system upgrade didn't take 30 fucking years and we would be money ahead right now?
I mean, IRS modernization is something that needed to occur. I mean,
We've been paying for it for 30 years.
Could I answer the question, or no? I guess not.
It's a yes or no. I mean, like, this is this is like a duh.
I'm with you about making things more efficient, man. Like, our country, Ellie, is absolutely horrible. And, I mean, the stuff that I say here, like, we need a reform as well. So much money going to waste. And our leftist, stupid Trudeau, which I wish he was kicked out way earlier. He was all about the big government and paying attention to like micro issues, like just the smallest things, and not putting the economy first. I totally get it, Al. I just hope that Trump navigates this whole change, or whoever comes after him, if this change continues, does it in a really good way. My family is a political family from Southern Ontario. And, not only is my sister down there in Chicago and her husband's in the local government, but like, my dad's best friend is John Bellamy, and his great-grandfather literally wrote the Pledge of Allegiance. And his wife, who just died a little while ago, is former Prime Minister Paul Martin's sister. So my family's got like this whole political thing with Ottawa. My grandfather was Reeve of Essex County for 30 years, and my uncle, Minister of Agriculture in Ottawa as well. But the thing is just having been raised with a slight awareness of that, when you're raised around that thing, when you get somebody elected with that kind of voice and just swearing and just the way that he puts things out there, you kind of like are like, holy crap, like, I can't believe he's saying these sorts of things, it's very unbecoming of someone in that for the president of the United States to talk that way.
Who are you to determine how the president of the United States should talk?
Okay,
like, first of all, you're not a citizen.
As I said,
number one, you're not a citizen. Number two, you had a bozo as your prime minister. That, I mean, if you want to talk about disrupting a country and what he did, and talk to the truck drivers,
and I agree,
and the people in Canada. So who are you to tell us how our government should speak? Like, seriously.
Well,
you don't. You can't, and you shouldn't. And you're just. It's just. Who gives a shit?
Well, I'll tell you, Abby. I think Donald Trump is a bloviating asshole, and he should keep his fucking mouth shut.
But
exactly.
Like, if you don't vote for him, if you're not there as
he's everybody's problem, though, Abby. He's everybody's problem.
How is he everyone's problem?
Well, he's threatening to invade Canada.
Did you elect him? Did you vote for him?
Then he should keep his mouth shut when it comes. He should keep his mouth shut when he wants to talk about Canada.
But it's not your business.
Say positive.
You're not the elected.
It is, because I'm Canadian. You're not making any sense. You're not making any sense. You're not making any sense. You're not making any sense.
Abby, can I ask you a question, Abby? Should Polish Jews have any say in what Hitler was doing, Abby, in your opinion? Like, they didn't vote him in, right? Should Polish Jews have during? I'm asking you.
Well, that's the most. Someone who invaded. Wait.
You're saying
someone who invaded their country.
Trump is saying he's going to invade our country.
Someone who invaded
their
country.
I got an opinion.
Trump did not invade Canada.
Come on.
So Like, what kind of...
Then why the fuck is he saying stuff like that? That's my point.
Well, Abby, he said he's going to.
Say things that
he
he's
said
not
he's going
to do.
Yeah, people asked if he was joking. He said repeatedly, "No, I'm not joking."
You know,
repeatedly,
exactly.
His staff has said that he's not joking.
And
Yeah.
So we're just taking him at his word. Why are you taking offense?
Let's look at what
Let's
happened.
look at that. Let's look
You
at that.
actually have to now worry about what's coming into our border.
No.
Because we had fentanyl coming in from the northern border as well.
No,
Abby,
it's the opposite. You guys
don't.
got to keep your side of the border clean from coming into Canada.
There are more guns and more fentanyl coming from the U.S. into Canada than they
And you know what? You should
Keep your shit
as a
out.
symbol.
You should be
Hey, Abby.
connected too. Hey, if you're
Abby.
concerned about what's coming in from this side, then you should demand the same thing.
Abby,
You should
no,
keep your
you're
borders
wrong.
nice and
But
safe,
Abby,
right?
Abby,
Well,
that's
no,
not
it's
how
like
borders work.
fucking white trash.
Can I say something, Abby? Can I say something really quickly? The way borders work is that the country is responsible for protecting their borders, right? And so when America comes and says, "Hey, Canada,"
Do you understand that right
Thank you
after
for letting me finish.
he made, right after he made those demands, the funniest thing happened with Mexico and Canada. All of a sudden, there are now troops in Mexico at the border, and the
That's perfect.
Canadians. Yeah, that's
Yeah, because
So
he's
can I tell you? Can I tell?
He
So
made
hold
a
on. Can I tell you?
campaign promise, and he's keeping
Yeah.
it.
So Abby, can I tell you what happened? Can I tell you what
President is
happened?
actually following
Yeah, I
through
know,
with
Abby,
what
you're a
he
true
promised
believer.
he's gonna do.
Hold on,
You're a
Abby, can I tell you
true
something?
believer.
And I'd love it if you'd let me just finish, and I'll try and be really quick. So Canada, in an attempt to be cooperative with the U.S. initially, right, when Trump first came in, said, "Hey, we're going to pay for one of our military helicopters to patrol the border," right? It was a $50 million program that we spent, that Canada spent, and they shut it down. Do you know why? Because after 2 months of patrolling, they only found one person crossing illegally with fentanyl, and they were going from the U.S. to Canada.
Only one
And they said, "This is such a
person.
waste
You
of
really
fucking
think
money
that?
going from the U.S. to Canada." Yes, you can go
And
look
you
it up.
think that
So they
nothing-
shut down the program.
Okay, so do you think nothing is coming in? Do you want to know about our watch list?
Very
Our
little.
watch list, and how many came in from the Canadian border during the Biden administration? Do you know what the
You
numbers
and your
were?
fucking
Have you
terrorists.
listened? Since you don't live in the U.S., you
Yeah,
probably don't
it's a
listen
dangerous world, Abby.
Are you
It's a
talking
dangerous
9/11?
world.
Are you talking 9/11? Are you talking 9/11?
No.
It's a dangerous
Perhaps
world.
if you listen to Director Wray when he was running the FBI and his testimony in front of Congress about what they've picked up coming in from the northern border of people that were actually on our watch list that were not being stopped by the Canadians and coming in and penetrating into
So
the US.
first of all, Abby, we don't stop people when they
Okay.
leave our country. Neither do you. That's not how borders work.
Really?
You're
We
supposed
don't
to
stop
protect your
people
own.
when
Yes.
they leave our country? Really?
No, you don't.
Have you
don't.
have
I'm
you
not
ever
people that
left the
travel.
United States?
Oh
Have you
my
ever
God.
left the U.S.?
Yes,
And
I used
what
to come
happens
to.
when
I used
you
to go to the
leave the
U.S. all the time.
And what
You go
happens
to-
when you leave the U.S.?
I'll try and answer if you let me to.
Can you get on an airplane without a passport when you leave the U.S.?
You don't have to go through customs when you leave the
do you
U.S.,
have-
Abby.
do you-
When
do
you
you
drive
have a
across the border, and
passport?
Abby, just listen to him for a sec.
Can I just finish? When you leave the country, like let's say you drive from U.S. to Canada, and you're a Canadian or U.S. citizen, there is no U.S. customs that you have to stop. You don't have to present a passport to anyone from the U.S. The only person who's going to ask you for a passport is the country that you're entering, Canada.
Ding, ding, ding,
So,
ding.
Abby, you do not have to
Yeah,
present
and
any.
Abby, I'm not
Oh,
getting
my God.
this,
This is just
where you're getting this idea that you can't leave the U.S. without a
I
passport.
said when you board an airplane.
You don't need the
you
passport
cannot
until you
cannot
actually
board an
arrive
airplane
in the
leaving the
next
United
country,
States
and
without
then
a
you need the
passport.
passport.
You can't
Like,
get
I'm
on an
literally-
airplane.
Oh my
Leaving the
goodness.
United
That's when you're leaving the
Yeah.
country, Abby.
So hold on. This is silly. Anyone can Google what I
Have
just
you
said.
ever
Let's
got
focus
on an
something.
airplane leaving the United States?
Yes, many
you ever
times.
gotten on
And
an
they
airplane?
don't ask you for a passport.
You
They
must
don't
have a
ask you for the
passport getting on an
passport
airplane
until you
leaving
get
the
to
United
the
States.
next airport.
No.
Do you know why,
have to
Abby?
have a
Abby,
passport.
Abby,
Never
Abby,
get
let me
on an
try.
airplane. Yes, you do.
Abby, do you mind if I try and answer
Hey,
your
hold
question?
on a
The
minute.
reason
So
why.
this
Because
is
it's
the reason why is-
international.
I don't know if our Canadian
Yeah.
friends are aware, but actually you either have to have a passport or a driver's license.
He's saying
now
it's different from
that
land
is
border.
specialized, hold on, that is specialized to indicate that you are safe to travel. So would be the equivalent of having your passports. You can have either the two. Your traditional driver's license won't even work anymore. Okay?
So,
That is
so
new.
you agree
I'm
with
not
that?
sure.
So,
I am
yeah.
not sure if everybody
It's not new.
understands this.
It's not
That's
new.
for entry
It's
into
been
the
in place.
USL.
No, that absolutely is new. Thank
No,
you.
so here's why they insist that you have a passport if you're getting on a plane to leave the country. Is because if you arrive at that country without a passport and they refuse you, it is the airline's cost and responsibility to return you to the country of origin, and the airline doesn't want that responsibility. That's
It's
not the
different
same
than
as saying
land borders.
you have to go through customs.
Because
That's
I
not the
actually
same.
need
So
both
okay,
of
so
those
can I ask
things
you?
to travel, not internationally even. I need it to board any flight now.
So El, can I ask you something else?
He's talking about the difference between land borders.
Do you think that means that you have to go through U.S. customs to leave America? Because that's what Abby's saying. So do you agree with Abby?
Didn't say that.
Did not
You're
say that.
Abby is
I
that
didn't
what you
say
said,
that. I
Abby?
said you
Clearly
can't
not
get on an
listening.
airplane leaving the country without a passport.
So do we start that conversation by you saying, hey, why don't you guys stop and check what's coming out of your country? And I respond by saying, that's not how borders work. Like, you agree that's how we got here, right?
Yeah. So it's not the responsibility of Canada to keep shit out of America. It's the responsibility of America to keep shit out of America. Just the same, it's not the responsibility of the United States.
Coming in at our border, coming out of our northern border.
No. It's not that. But that's not how international law works.
So how are
That's
we
not how
going to stop
international
it
law is.
coming out of Mexico and out of Canada?
America's supposed to stop it. It's their responsibility.
Really? So how
Yeah.
do we stop? How do we stop all these lovely terrorists from coming in from Canada? How do we stop it? What would you suggest? You're in charge.
All of these lovely terrorists, I think you're being hyperbolic.
Cooperation.
You live in a paranoid fucking world.
I live in a paranoid world. Do you want me to pull? I'll just put it in the chat if you want to.
Yeah, drop it there, Abby. And let me ask.
Ray,
Yes,
would you like to see the? And this isn't even Patel. This is Ray. While Biden was still in office, giving testimony to Congress and putting us on high alert about everyone that's coming in and what's in our country now, and he specifically states the northern border.
Can I ask a question for folks, right? Like recently, in the last 2 weeks, the Trump administration's top person put out a report, right, on the biggest problem spots when it comes to fentanyl and drugs being imported and illegal immigrants being sent to America. Canada wasn't in the top 10. Why do you guys think that is? Right, because all you're saying that we're this massive, like, serious threat to America. Why do you think we weren't in the top 10 nations? That the Trump administration's people just...
It's people coming in through your nation, not Canadians.
No, to be clear.
There's no threats coming from... it's possible.
Hello?
It's possible, but what...
They're
Trump
not
is just...
Canadians. The people that are on the watch list that are coming in through Canada. Again, if you give me a minute, I'll pull up the last round of testimony.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They're
not Canadians. It's Canada not stopping them from coming in, and they're coming in from the northern border.
We're not as paranoid as you guys.
Not as paranoid? Well, I don't know. I've never caught
You guys are crazy.
a few of your friends in ISIS
responsibility to stop them, not Canada's.
Really? Because if a terrorist got on an airplane in the United States,
according to international law, it's
stopped.
your responsibility to stop them. That's 1,000% fact.
Then you should
and
stop
maybe we
them
do that by
coming in.
putting some tariffs until you figure out that you got to control your borders a little
Perfect.
bit.
So let's talk about terms.
Why? Because Trump can't do it himself? He can't man the
how
borders for America?
You
What the
do want them
fuck?
on our side. You want man them on your side.
You guys aren't manning it on your side.
I do not
Obviously, you're
understand.
not.
Shut the fuck up for a
Because you're
minute.
trying to get us
Oh
to
my
do your
God,
job
do
for
not
you.
Make me mute you.
How many times
Listen.
have you guys crossed the Canadian border? Like
Many
literally.
fucking times. I'm older than all of you. I guarantee
No,
you.
you're
dare
not.
you.
I
How dare
am.
you.
I promise you.
No, you're not,
Oh,
Elle.
honey, I am.
No, you're not.
How much you want to bet? I can tell right now.
Don't call me honey.
I did call you honey.
Don't call me honey.
I did call you honey.
Yeah, I used to listen to
call me
8 tracks. I used to
No,
listen to
I
8
did.
tracks. Y'all be quiet right now. I used to listen to 8
You
tracks.
have no
Let's-
idea how old I am, and you're talking.
Abby's the oldest.
And I said in a
Obviously,
condescending
I'm
way.
but I'm not
So
gonna
I
Yeah,
say
you
that.
don't need to
that
be
I have
fucking
crossed the
condescending
border.
to your fucking
You were
peers.
Abby, I
first,
think I'm
bitch.
second oldest.
Okay, I can give it back.
Are you guys cool with a quick reset? I just want to ask you a quick question because this was my
You've
takeaway.
got
I was
ugly
listening to him.
Republican makeup too.
You know what?
Hold on. Reset. Hold on. Reset. Let me ask you a question because I heard a Republican senator saying this, and my takeaway, like literally halfway through, I wasn't sure if he was like criticizing Trump or he was pro him. And this is what he said, right? He said, and I'm going to use rough numbers, but these are roughly right. So Canada purchased about $350 billion worth of goods from America last year, and America purchased about $470 billion.
Bad filler.
Hold on. And America bought $480 billion. Hold on.
Your fucking condescending bitch ass bullshit. And then
can we talk about
cry?
Can we talk about?
You want to cry about somebody calling you honey? That's rich, bitch.
Can we talk about trade deficits? Hold on a sec. Hold on. I did that intentionally. Hold on. So this is the thing, right? And so
what about getting all worked up for no reason?
Stop it, demon. So this is what he said, right? Is that America purchased $480 billion from Canada, and he pointed out that Canada has 1/8 the population and economy that the U.S. does, right? And so when he said that, I was like, yeah, thanks for making a great point, right? Like America, who has 8 times more people, 8 times bigger economy, only purchased like $60 billion more from Canada, right? Like if it was proportionate, right, either Canada would only purchase like $4 billion instead of $350 billion, or America would purchase $1.3 trillion from Canada instead of the $460 billion. And yet these are the numbers that Trump claims is Canada leeching off of America. So can you explain that? 'Cause I don't get that.
Well, a lot of his fucking voters can't do math, so I mean, they just hear like one's bigger, one's smaller, but they don't take into consideration the population difference, Jeremy.
I'm just curious, right? Because when we look at that, we say, hey, we're your biggest customer of the things that you make. You guys buy a little bit more from us, but the reason is because we give you like stupid cheap electricity and gas, like way below market.
Oh, it's only 20% the fucking market price. The oil that we sell to the States,
what is it that
which is ridiculous. Why would we sell it? I think it's such a fucking ridiculous thing.
Do you know
to
why?
give such a break?
Ask yourself that. Why?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. No,
because our politicians are corrupt.
And why else?
No, it's because for sure. It's a good question, Al. It's because we had a pipeline that went down to America to where your refineries are that consume that tar oil, right? And it was really hard for us to build pipelines across BC to the port where we can sell it to China.
We might make it now, though.
Because of our First Nations, right? And that's no longer an issue because we're all behind, finding new markets for our energy and our products.
Yes, and that is one issue, but there's another one.
For the hydroelectricity, it's because of the proximity to America.
It's the proximity. That's it, Al. It's just because you guys are close.
Also, in this partnership, in this arrangement, there's an understanding of protection.
Who's going to attack Canada?
I think is disintegrating right now before our eyes.
Who's going to attack Canada?
It is disintegrating. But hold on, Mike. It is disintegrating, Al, and that's a good thing.
If you aren't ever worried about anybody attacking,
I'm not worried about it.
Then great.
Yeah,
Nobody
I don't think
is.
Canadians have anything to worry about.
We have nothing to worry about. Do you have any idea? Al, just look at our geography. Do you have any idea how difficult it would be for somebody to invade Canada? Do you have any clue? We've got massive oceans on either side of us.
Worry about it, and I think anything that happens as far as
nobody's getting in.
Nobody's losing sleep over it. Trust me, Al. Nobody. We don't have a paranoid fucking television system.
Is you realize that if Canada joined the European
Union, it could happen. It could happen. Terrorists could happen.
Join the European Union. If Canada joined the European Union, we would be.
It could definitely happen. No, 100%.
Utterly fucked.
I think you should totally join
Al, I think what you're saying is important.
The EU already controls
you should do it.
Most production regulations because they have the 5th largest market in the fucking world.
I think you should do it.
So, Al,
any regulations that the EU puts on products,
I think you would fit in perfectly with the EU.
So Canada, I'm not Canadian, Al. I'm American.
I don't care what you are. I think they should totally do it.
Is going on.
So, Al, this is where I agree with you, right? And this is where I think one of the really positive outcomes of what Trump is doing is going to result in, right? This idea that America has been the savior police of the world has forced so many nations to spend money on the American military-industrial complex,
Yes.
right? Which just fuels your entire economy, right? And so I agree. Like for the first time ever, the EU is going to spend more on military investment than the U.S., which is spectacular.
It is amazing.
Canada has canceled. It is amazing. This is where we agree. Canada has canceled their F-35 contracts and are going to buy Saab.
That's like $500 billion worth of planes. Yeah.
Also awesome, right? And you're right, Al. Canada shouldn't suckle at the teat of America. We should have our own strong military. We should have customers like China and Europe and other countries that don't want to invade us and don't want to treat us like shit. So we're going to come out of this fine. Everybody wants the shit we have. It's America when they no longer have a military, when no one will buy their bonds, when nobody wants to fuck with their nation. Who's going to buy your debt, Al, when you don't have an open market? Why the fuck is Japan going to give a shit? Why is Canada going to give a shit? Why is Germany going to give a shit? All the people that own your debt. You guys are a welfare state.
Shit.
No, you're a
To
welfare
your point,
state.
when we start manufacturing here and we don't need your shit,
Dude,
that also changes the
No,
dynamic.
we're
Man, I
not
hope you're
doing
right.
that.
I hope the manufacturing comes back.
I do
mean,
too.
the thing about that is, right, is you know, I mean, if you own like a small business like me, you realize that setting up a fucking factory and shit, and I'm just working out of a garage, but setting up a factory is so expensive. So all these guys that own these factories right now, they got to be thinking like, is it cheaper for me to wait out 4 years? Because Trump's probably going to get kicked out, and then who knows, maybe the Democrats will come in and everything's going to change. Is it cheaper for me to wait it out? Or is it cheaper for me to bring the fucking factory, all the way back home to Canada? So, I mean, Al, if you're right, like if it's a long-term change, then it might happen. The question really is...
What kind of tax do you pay with your...
I was talking to Al, Abby. I was talking to Al.
Hold on. Ask that question. What kind of tax do you pay now? If they're
What kind of tax of what?
out, what kind of corporate tax do you pay in Canada?
Me? I don't pay fucking shit.
Well, I've asked the wrong person. Generally, Jeremy, do you know what the corporate tax rate is there?
The corporate tax rate, it varies depending on what business. I can talk about personal income tax rates in different provinces.
That's different. I'm asking corporate tax rate. What is it?
My total tax is about 25%, everything. Like everything at the end of the year.
Is that the corporate tax rate in Canada?
No. Mine is like 12%.
That's what you're saying. That's what the corporate tax rate is. 12%. That's
it's 12. Oh, it's 12%.
You're certain about that?
Well, for my tiny ass business,
Generally, what's the corporate tax rate there?
Fuck if I know.
Who cares? The point is, Jeremy and Mindvirus are incompetent, angry people who come here to project on us their own anxiety and depression. They're pathetic and they're retarded. Oh, I got kicked out of every account. Every single account. Dr. Australia. Somebody's got to do it. I don't want to have to do this, but I feel compelled to. I feel that I'm forced to do this. If I don't do this, no one else will. And these losers will get away with it. But what they're getting away with is wasting my time. They're actually getting away with nothing because they're wasting all their time. But I'm gonna write down what's called a to-do list tomorrow, I think, and like trying to do something.
Your company's not gonna make it if the Chef of America sinks.
Just listening. I got all these Adrian Dittman, Wisconsin clips up. You know, Dr. Australia, you're like the perfect assistant. You never talk back, but you're always there. I think that's what everybody wants on Clubhouse is they don't actually want any feedback from their stupidity. They just want to talk and get their dopamine in for the day. Dopamine. I don't see anything else interesting.
Go back in the water, back
back to the other side where there's no water or no air. I mean, there is air, but it's not like in the fresh air. Then they exhale their oxygen back in there to like keep the fresh air inside of there. And then they got to maintain the hole as well. They're working 9 to 5, bro. Like constant. They live in a shitty life, bro. They're like paying tax.
Sounds like it. Sounds like ants.
I was drinking out the bottle.
Let's take another shot with me.
No,
You're not taking a shot with me.
I'm going to sleep alone.
Why are you going to sleep alone?
Because I'm lonely.
She's lonely and bored.
It's so lonely in my mansion. Kissing and hug the covers.
On my way.
Welcome to the Chicago party line, Mayor Brandon Johnson's Chirac.
Oh, hell no.
Your butt stink.
Donald Trump is gonna wipe your booty and tuck you into bed and sing you a lullaby.
Oh, nah.
Yo, Minaz, what you wearing?
What?
I said, what you wearing?
Nothing. I'm trying to figure out why was Hendrick trying to